This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled for all these things, must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in various places. Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem. Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai. Those are the true names in ancient Paleo Hebrew, the last one Kadash in the tongue. And I say Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit down lesson, as the tensions are only going to stir up between the Houthi rebels, which is a pro-Iranian group. They are still in solidarity with the Palestinians because, especially for the past couple of days, you've been having the Israel Defense Force. And I believe we had the cabinet of Benjamin Netanyahu. They have approved a deal to have full control over there, the Gaza Strip. And ever since then, even though they had like a ceasefire agreement ever since last November of last year, and then, they've been using heavy airstrikes over there against the Hamas and the pro-Iranian groups. And then that's why you've been having the Houthi rebels. They are in solidarity with the Palestinians. As you know, you had some type of meeting, I believe it was over there in Lebanon, from the Lebanese and the opposing side as well, too. I believe all the Lebanon, they had like a cabinet meeting or something like that. And then you had the opposing side, because supposedly they were supposed to disarm their bands, from Hamas. Because I believe Lebanon, Hamas, they had a sit down, of a vote to potentially disarm the bands from Hamas. But I believe at first Hamas, from their representations, once they had to sit down with Lebanon, I believe they had left the meeting, and then I believe they came in once again for a second time for a meeting. So we're going to see how that plays out. But you have the other side of Hamas and their affiliates. They don't want to disarm their weaponry because you still got the Israel Defense Force using aggression of heavy airstrikes targeting, Hamas, which makes perfect sense. So that shows you that despite the fact they try to have efforts to de-escalate the tensions to further have a ceasefire between both sides, which the Israel Defense Force continue to use airstrikes, continue to do heavy raids, over there in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, the Palestinian territory. As we're seeing, a lot of tensions are going on in that area, a lot of activities going on over there in that region, especially, those Palestinians going through a harsh famines, humanitarian crisis, even though a lot of food delivery has been dropped off down in that area, because a lot of times, those Israel Defense Force, they're using, those attacks unjustly against the Israel, against the Palestinians, So that shows you that we're still going to see the tensions of only going to heat up between Hamas and the Israel Defense Force, despite the fact, the cabinet leaders from Lebanon and the leaders from Hamas, even though there was potentially a deal and a vote that was on the table, see if they can potentially disarm from Hamas, because they originally based over there, in Lebanon. Because I believe like 2 days ago, or the day before yesterday, last time I checked, you had a strike from the Israel Defense Force over there in Lebanon targeting the Hamas groups. Now you got the Houthi rebels, which is a pro-Iranian group, so they're going to be in solidarity with Hamas and with the with Palestinians, in Iran, so they're going to continue to be in solidarity with them. So recently, I would say yesterday, you had a airstrike and ballistic missiles from the Israel Defense Force. From Houthi rebels. They target Israel Defense Force over there in central Israel and southern Israel as well too. But like, so I believe this is like the second time this occurred. So I just want to add an additional statement to that. So that shows you that it's still going to be tensions heating up over there, over there in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, the Palestinian territory, over there in the Mediterranean Sea, over there in the Red Sea, throughout Western Asia. And this is a news article from the timeofisrael.com, last updated from the live blog on Friday, August the 8th, 2025, and it reads, it says, for the second time within an hour, the IDF, which the Israel Defense Force, intercepted drones likely from Yemen. It says a drone launched at Israel from the east was intercepted by an Israeli Air Force a short while ago. The IDF says for a second time, less than an hour. It said no sirens were activated according to the protocol. No Israelis towns were under threat. The IDF says, according to the preliminary assessments in the IDF, this drone was too likely launched from Yemen. Right, so the tension between the Houthi rebels, which they are pro-Iranian group, which they fully control military bases over there in Yemen. So you're still going to have the Israel Defense Force using airstrikes over there in Yemen. And you're going to have the Houthi rebels continue to target the Israel Defense Force over there in central and southern Israel, cross-border conflict. And this is the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Right, this wars and rumors of wars between the Houthi rebels going against the Israel Defense Force, cross-border conflict over there in Western Asia. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. This is a sign of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not trouble for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, it's going to come to pass, but it's not going to end just yet. Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Right, this is a sign which you call nation shall rise against nation, which goes into ethnos. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Yeah, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, which the armies of other nations, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Right over there in Western Asia. Joel 3, verse 10, beat your plowshares and the swords and the plenty hooks and the spears, let the weak sound strong. Right, so the pro-Iranian groups, the Houthi rebels, still going to be rising up against the Israel Defense Force. But you're still going to have the Houthi rebels fall in solidarity with the Palestinians because of those heavy airstrikes and heavy involvement, of the Israel Defense Force trying to have full control over there in the Gaza Strip. Which Benjamin Netanyahu said they're going to have full control there after they made a vote as a cabinet, made that vote not too long ago. Yeah, Joel there, verse 10, beat your plowshares and swords and the pointy hooks and the spears, let the weak sound strong, while the Houthi rebels continue to go against the Israel Defense Force, while they're going to continue to be in solidarity with the Palestinians going against the Israel Defense Force. So expect to see more rocket launches, ballistic missile launches from the Houthi rebels going against the Israel Defense Force over there in central and southern Israel. So the tensions are only going to stir up between the Houthi rebels and the Israel Defense Force. So with that, hopefully this is edifying of this recent news article from the time of Israel as of August the 8th, 2025. As it says again, today at 1:15 a.m., it says for the second time, within an hour, the IDF, which the Israel Defense Force, intercepted drones likely from Yemen. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Kadash, in the Heavenly Father. The true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, the name of Mashiach Yahweh. Those are the true names in ancient Hebrew, Hebrew, Lashwan Kadash tongue. Let's say the rock to the elders and apostles while I can until next time. I would say Shalom.